It seemed to start as a simple cold. Then authorities thought perhaps it was a standard flu. It wasn't long before it was clear that the world was dealing with something much, much worse. Countries tried denying entry, mandating shutdowns, and limiting travel. But it continued to spread. It spread to every corner of the globe, and it started mutating. Governments tried everything they could as thousands upon thousands were dying. Civil unrest began to spread. Now, almost 2 years into the pandemic, as the bodies are piling up, the worst has happened.
Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2021 video. I believe this is movie 19, and I saved Leslie this. She's not the biggest zombie movie fan. I get it. A lot of them are really low budget. And so, yeah, despite the fact that this has a ton of people in it that you may have heard of, it's still really low budget. We're talking Zombie Killers, Elephant's Graveyard. That's really like a long title. Like, why isn't it just called Zombie Killers? I don't know. But, I don't know. Maybe if I did some extra research, I'd find that out. But this is a movie from 2015. It runs roughly an hour and 44 minutes it's in length. The film is obviously post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse in nature. It revolves around a giant, it's hard to say because I kind of question what was going on. So there was obviously zombie apocalypse, and apparently all these people live in a fenced off area, so somebody had the good nature to put up a fence to keep the zombies out. And so they're all kind of like a little community. Now, I don't know if the fence is just the main compound and then people live outside of it, but it seemed like they all lived within it, which is why they felt safe. And the Zombie Killers refers to a bunch of essentially the young adults who form the, like the militia, the zombie killing crew who go out and kill zombies and gather supplies, etc., while everybody else sort of like lives inside. Now, the film takes place mostly in farmland, so when looking at it, I was like, holy crow, like, if all of these houses, I mean, you see, like, farmers' fields, you see forests, they often travel through fields and forests and stuff when they're doing stuff, but the fact of the matter is, this fence would have to be gigantic, like, the length of it would have to be huge, because you know how big a farm is, and if all these people are living on different essentially farmsteads, because they don't seem to live in a little village, they seem to have to drive to get to everybody's houses, oddly. I get it, it allows you to produce food and such like that, but yeah, I don't know how this like, was it one of those things where it was like, we heard that, on the news, zombies, and then we started putting up a fence, or what? Because it would take a long time to put up, barricades and fences and stuff over. I mean, anybody who's put up fencing knows it's not an easy thing. It's not something you can just do in a day for large amounts of, and we're not talking like fencing where you might see on a farm where they have, like stakes and stuff, and then they run, you know, maybe barbed wire or something across, or an electric fence across, a few strands going across, you know, to keep the cows or something. And no, these are full on either full wooden barricaded fences, or mostly chain link fences and stuff like that. You know, stuff that's essentially a little bit higher than a normal person. So yeah, I questioned that right off the bat. But yeah, essentially the zombie killers refers to the, you know, the people who are going out and protecting this group of people. Before I get into more of this, we got let's talk about the director, who's also the writer. Actually, there's two writers on this. One is David Agnew Penn, who I don't believe has written anything else, and then there's the writer-director B. Harrison Smith, who also wrote and did Camp Dread and Death House. Now, when we get into cast members, there's three kind of big names on here. First is Billy Zane, who played Siler, and he's kind of the war guy who trains the zombie killers type thing. But yeah, I shouldn't have to tell you who Billy Zane is, but in case you want to run down the stuff that he's done, genre work, we got Back to the Future, like 1 and 2, we got Critters, we got Dead Calm, Memphis Belle, Sniper, a bunch of sniper movies, Tombstone, The Silence of the Hams, that comedy spoof, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, The Phantom. Yeah, that's I always laugh when I see him in The Phantom. Titanic, though it's not genre work. I mean, that's one of the more recent films that a lot of people know him from. That's big. He was also in Blood Rain, The Scorpion King 3, Battle for Redemption. I believe he was the Scorpion King in that film. The Haunting of Goodnight Lane, and even Dead Rising Endgame, which was based off of the video game, as far as I know. So yeah, he's one of the big names, the big draws. He's right here in terms of names. Next to that name is Dee Wallace. Yes, the Dee Wallace, who had a small role in this film. She played Sharon Summers, who is mother of one of the zombie killers, and she's dying of cancer. So essentially, she came in and shot, I'm guessing, in one day or one afternoon or something like that. She's essentially bedridden, so do those scenes, get them done, go home. Dee, you're good. You're finished for this film. But if you don't know who Dee Wallace is, let's go over some of the credits here. She's from, I think the first genre work she did was The Stepford Wives. She was in The Hills Have Eyes, The Howling, E.T., E.T. the Extraterrestrial, E.T. Phone Home, Cujo, Critters, Popcorn, Alligator 2, The Mutation, Temptress, Abominable, The Plague, Joe Kell. I have the soundtrack for that one. The 2007 Halloween film, The House of the Devil, The Haunted World of El Superbeasto. Actually, Rob Zombie really likes Dee Wallace. Exit Humanity, The Lords of Salem, Red Christmas, All Hallows Eve, Death House, and Three from Hell, just to name a few. There's a lot more. Then we got another name on this front cover is Misha Barton, who played Tony in the film. And yeah, she was in such genre films as like Paranoid and Cyberstalker, Into the Dark, Apartment 1303, which was a 3D movie, The Hoarder, The Malevolent, Ouija House, but most would probably know her from her long starring role of Marissa Cooper in The O.C. Rounding out big names draws to this, and this one does not actually get a name on the cover. We got Felissa Rose, yes. She plays, I think it was Leah or Laya, who was kind of like a religious cult fanatic leader type thing. I guess there's this cult that's off to the side. Part of the story is they used pieces of their church to build the fence, but their church just seemed like a small little church, a one-room church type thing. Not only was there still stacks and stacks of lumber beside this church, but I mean, the amount of fence that they probably wouldn't have even covered my backyard with the amount of lumber they would have scored from this church. So, yeah, whatever. Whatever to make this story make sense. In terms of what she's done in the genre, what hasn't she done? We got Scary Tales, The Return of Mr. Longfellow, horror, Zombiegeddon, Corpses Are Forever, Dead Serious, Dead Things, Slaughter Party, Satan's Playground, Evil Ever After, Psycho Sleepover, Caesar and Otto's Summer Camp Massacre, Silent Night, Zombie Night, Deadly Little Christmas, Caesar and Otto's Deadly Xmas, Camp Dread, Jurassic City, Tales of Halloween, The House That Wept Blood, Death House, Ghoulish, Welcome to Hell, and all sorts of others. But of course, we all know her from Sleepaway Camp, and of course, Return to Sleepaway Camp as the sequel, or later sequel. Other people who had some credits to their name that you probably don't know. We have Gabrielle Stone, who played Nikki Slater. She was also in Speak No Evil, Cut, Do You See Me, and Death House. A lot of these people have done similar films. You'll notice this. We got Michael Keane, who played Ian, who is actually the son of Dee Wallace's character. And he was also in Caesar and Otto's Paranormal Halloween and Death House. Joe Raffa played Manning. I think Manning, most of these people are all part of the Zombie Killers. He was in 6 Degrees of Hell, Hallows Eve, and Camp Dread. Davey Raffaelli played Rattler, who was also in 6 Degrees of Hell, Camp Dread, and The Special recently. Angel Anthony Marrero played Dutra. He was also in Camp Dread, Siblings, and Garlic and Gunpowder. And then finally, a main character, though he gets pushed way down on the list. He's not a zombie killer. It's Brian Anthony Wilson, who played the town's doctor and leader. Now, he's been in a slew of, larger roles, smaller roles, one-offs, extras, all that kind of stuff for TV and film. But he started off as in The Postman. Kevin Costner's The Postman was his first film, and he actually had a named part in that. I mean, if I went back, I'd probably notice him now, but I couldn't believe that was his first credit. But then I guess he got the acting bug or something like that. So genre work that he was also in was Shadow, Dead Riot, 6 Degrees of Hell, Creed, the Apollo Creed Rocky movie. He was also in A Place in Hell, and he had a small little extra role in Ocean's 8, which I just thought I'd mention. The film relies a lot on CG, and this is where it really kind of lost me. I was okay. The zombies, actually I was okay with a good portion of it, especially in the beginning. You're establishing who everybody is, what their roles are. And I guess with a film of this nature, you do have a lot of townsfolk, and they did kind of give more emphasis on some people, and probably more than they really needed to. But there's a lot of people, and of course the zombie killers, even though they're the main people in the film, and they're kind of the main people of the story, but I don't know, it's weird, right? All of the main, the names and stuff like that, other than really Billy Zane, who's their kind of leader and trainer, it's really weird that it really, I think it's, I don't know, there's a lot going on in the film. Let's just say that there's a lot going on in the film. There's a lot of different aspects, and there may be too much. Maybe way too much. Maybe they overemphasize too many aspects of the society that was built by these people. But yeah, it's one of those things where I was watching this film, and I mean, they made. Well, here's one of the things that bugged me. Outside of the large amount of CG. this film, obviously the zombie killers, the zombie hunters, whatever you want to call them, go out and get supplies. Now, this is a farming community, so supplies, I mean, unless they're raiding, they must be raiding houses and stuff, or were raiding houses, etc., to get stuff. And of course, they live on farming communities. But one thing I did notice in the film, which, I mean, sure, you don't have to show it, but they were driving vehicles. So, gas. How readily available was gas? Again, a lot of the farms are going to have gas that you can get, to power your vehicles and stuff like that. But you would think horses would be more readily available. 2, ammunition. I think they made up these guns because they didn't look like any gun I've ever seen. Probably a bunch of like Nerf guns painted black. So, ammunition. For a while, you're going to be going, but the way these people go through, I mean, they do target practice on the regular, using their guns, shooting zombies, but they also, apparently, and this is a story plot point, use paintball to train. Now, they train on the regular, and these people aren't doing like one paintball kills. They're doing your standard paintball, like but. So they're going through racks and racks of paint. Where are they getting the paintballs? I mean, they can't just order them on Amazon or anything like that, right? I get it if there was a paintball store or something like that, or a paintball, whatever you call it, shooting game thing in the area, they could get some supplies and stuff for that. But how many paintball, like, are they in Paintball Central where like within 5 kilometers in every direction there's tons of paintball? Because this has been going on for at least 6 years or more. I would have thought it would take 6 years to build the fence. And they go through like paint, like they go through ammunition. Like, I don't know where they're getting it all. They have a scene where one of the guys is drinking orange juice. We are not an orange juice country, folks. This isn't Florida, from what I could tell. This is maybe, I don't know, middle America, somewhere in the U.S. that's farm country, and the farming looks like it's mostly going to be crop based, but no horses. Like, if you're in a farm country, you would think that horses would have been... Maybe they had to eat them all early on. I don't know. None of that's really touched on. But, yeah, so they're driving around a lot, shooting a lot. Nobody has shown that, they're farming. Apparently there's an underlying possible anti-fracking message going on, where there's a fracking factory or whatever you want to call them in the area, and they take a trip out there because one of the guys thinks that the fracking, he solved the reason why there's zombies, and it's because of the fracking or something like that. It's not, as far as I could tell, it was more like a gravel pit or something like that, or some sort of gravel, sand and stone, maybe, something along those lines of a factory. It wasn't a fracking thing, as far as I could tell. Yeah. There's a lot of things where you look at it and you go, oh man, like, I get it, you want to make a movie, I get it, you don't have a lot of budget, and certain things, you got to use certain things to make it fit. And to a certain degree, you just let it go, right? But it's one of those things, and one of the reasons why I love post-apocalyptic and zombie films and stuff like that is, if done right, if done well, they take those kind of things into account. And I've seen some micro-budget zombie films where zombies are attacking and all this kind of stuff, and it's literally a survival tale. This wasn't really a survival tale outside of, you know, the zombies. These people were pretty much, you know, they were thriving. There wasn't any problems outside of, you know, the problems that are situated inside of this town, if you will. Yeah, it's I guess this is one of those films where, yes, zombies are popular. Zombies are easy to do. People love doing zombies. And if you can get some names attached to your film, you can make a zombie film like this and you know, get it out there. But this almost feels like something from the Asylum, but it's not. I mean, their use of CG helicopters, CG zombies, CG zombie, well, whatever. I won't say too much outside of, you know, what they, because things start happening in this film that you're just like, okay, well, yeah, I guess that's different, kind of. So, yeah. That being said, Zombie Killers, Elephant's Graveyard, would I give it a recommend? No, I would not give this film a recommend. There are way better zombie films out there. There are way better micro-budget zombie films, let alone low-budget zombie films. But it is better than a lot. You know, like, there are a lot better than this, and this is better than a lot of others. So it's kind of in the middle of the bottom. As a result, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. But yeah, it's one of those things where it literally is. It's the names that get you, right. So if this didn't have all these named actors in this film, I don't know if it would have gotten picked up by anything other than maybe, I don't know, maybe one of those really low budget distributors. You know who they are. Might have put it out, but this was actually an Anchor Bay Blu-ray. Yeah. This is why Leslie doesn't want to watch these types of films, and I don't blame her. She wouldn't have gotten anything from this. She would have said, "This is garbage. It may not be the worst film I've ever seen, but it's not even close to being in the middle of the pack." Right? I don't even know if she would have given it a 2, maybe a 1. But anyways, if you've seen Zombie Killers, Elephant's Graveyard, let me know down below what you thought of it. Keep it spoiler free as always, as I tried to do in these reviews. But I do love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. More 31 Days of Horror to come. Take care. Have a good one.